Welcome back, everyone. This week in Level E, we're going to be going over lessons 93 through 96. You'll need worksheets 65 through 68, the appendices 3, 4, and 5, practice sheet 9, the math card games book, the fraction deck, the multiplication deck, and the basic number cards deck. In lesson 93, we will be finding percentages within a geographical context. The oral warm-up questions review the basics of percents. And then we're going to start off today's activity with the US map and a list of states. Those are appendices 3 and 4. And ask your student the questions that are listed in the lesson book. If you don't live in the US, just skip finding the state where you live, obviously. But maybe you could ask, what state would you like to visit? Sometimes my kids got confused in the middle of the worksheet and started writing down the number of states rather than the percent of states. So just remind your child that percent means out of 100. So if there's only 50 states, then whatever the numerical answer is, say 1, then the percent will double. For example, if there's only one state out of 50 with a certain attribute, then the answer is going to be 2%. All right, go ahead and ask the in conclusion questions and play the percentages old main game, which is F47 in the math card games book. In lesson 94, we will solve common problems involving percentages. The warm-up is a multivide this time, and it's on practice sheet 9. Remind your child to use those check numbers just so that they don't end up making a mistake farther up in the multivide and then finding out about it once they get to division. That is really always a sad day. So check numbers can help alleviate that problem. The problems on worksheet 66 should be solved intuitively rather than through a written equation. Although the answer in the book is a written equation, your child doesn't have to solve it that way. After your child solves each problem, have him or her discuss how the problem was solved. And if your child is struggling, you can walk them through the procedure outlined in the lesson book. Let's take a look at what that might look like for you.
Okay, so the first problem on worksheet 66 says some shoes are on sale for 50% off. The original price is $48.30. What is the sale price? So as long as your child knows that 50% off means half off, which they should have already made that connection, but if not, you can just point it out to them. Then you can just find what is half of 48.30. So we can do it through division. 2 goes into 4 twice, 2 goes into 8 4 times, 2 goes into 3 once with 1 left over, 2 goes into 10 5 times. So my answer is $24.15. Another way your student might have done it is to, as the book says, do it in piecemeal. So what is half of 40? Half of 40 is 20. What's half of 8? That's 4. What's half of 15? What's half of 30? That's 15. So you could just add that all together. That's $24.15.
So after that worksheet, you could play percentage war game, which is F48 in the math card games book, and then follow up with the in conclusion questions. For lesson 95, we do have a correction. So if your book was printed before August 19th of 2016, please follow the link in the description to make that correction. We will be solving more percentages problems in this lesson, and we'll learn about tipping and sales tax. Have your child complete the second multivide on practice sheet 9. Then move on to the worksheet, and as before, have your child discuss the solutions after each problem. Let's walk through problems 2 and 3.
So the second problem is talking about tips at a restaurant, and they say that 15% is a typical tip. And if the bill was $8, how much would the tip be? So if you figure out what 10% of $8 is, okay, that would be 80 cents, right? So half of 80 is 40 cents. That would be what 5% is. And of course, they don't have to write out this equation. I'm just showing it to you to see what the process is. So half of 80 cents would be 40 cents. So if we add those two together, we get $1.20. So the tip would be $1.20 and the total bill would be $9.20. Okay, let's try that again with problem number 3. We're still working at 15%. The bill was $12. So 10% of $12 would be $1.20. Half of $1.20 is 60 cents. So our total tip would be $1.80. And that would make our total bill $13. Put in 12 here so that you can see $13.80.
Okay, so after those 5 problems, you can move on to playing the game Percentage War, which is F48 in the Math Card Games book. After that, ask your in-conclusion questions and you're done for this lesson. In lesson 96, we're going to be finding fractions in a circle and then draw those common fractions of a circle. The warm-up questions are oral and they cover different geometric shapes. Have your child cut out the 4 large circles from Appendix 5 and assemble. Okay, so here are the 2 circles. This one happens to be the percentage one. The one you're working with in this lesson will be fractions. You'll use this percentage one the next time. And then this is the other side. Yours is black. And you just slide the 2 pieces together. When you see half of it is blue in my case, and the other half is white, then you know that the white part, that's what we're looking at, is 50%, or when we're dealing with fractions, 1/2. You then can turn the circles around until it shows 25%. Okay, so if a quarter of the circle is white, then that represents 25% or 1/4.
Let's also look at worksheet 68. There's many questions about these figures. You know, what fraction of the polygons have parallel sides? What fraction of the polygons have perpendicular lines, etc. I wanted to point out, because this is an issue for a lot of kids, the octagon, you can see that they have parallel sides, but they also have perpendicular sides. Those sides may not touch, but if you were to extend this line and extend this line, you would be able to see quite readily that those 2 lines are perpendicular. So this line is perpendicular to this line. This line is also perpendicular to this line, as well as to this line. And the top line is perpendicular to this line here. So you can see that there are perpendicular lines, and that should be included in the question as to what fraction of polygons have perpendicular lines.
Okay, so once your child has finished the worksheet, you can go ahead and ask the in-conclusion questions and play Simplifying Fractions game, which is F29 in the Math Card Games book. And that's all for this week. I hope you have a good one, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.